Celtics game highlight is presented by T-Mobile.
All right, skips it back, Valanciunas the trailer, and he knocks down a three.
Yeah, he doesn't pass on that shot.
Ingram, passed up Hayes, kicks it back out. Graham. They move the ball, don't they?
That's 4 separate times that the ball hit the paint.
Graham comes up firing and knocks down a three.
Wow. 18-point lead first half.
These days, lots of guys floating around the league, all the same size, kind of between guys.
All tough.
Good defenders. Jay Wright's got a great program going on. Horford down there for two. Horford from the corner.
Those shots are so important. Yeah.
Schroeder.
Only a matter of time for the Celtics getting going.
He's schooling some folks here this afternoon, too. He's got 17 points and 11 rebounds.
Plus 15 right now.
Brown for three. In a one-possession game. Tatum. For two.
Strong take to the basket.
Slowed down considerably. Thrown away. Chance for the lead.
2 for 1 if you play this right.
Schroeder for the lead.
Good recognition of the clock. Celtics will get the last possession.
Tatum comes up shooting. Rattles that one in.
That is phenomenal footwork.
Tatum again. For 2 and a foul.
Tatum has taken over early in this fourth quarter. Take a look wide. Comes off strong. Gets right into the chest of Valanciunas. Lays it up and one.
Graham thought somebody was there who wasn't.
Right on cue, Forsberg talks about the defense. Tatum making plays defensively.
Ingram very quiet here of late. He goes hard to basket, gets stripped by Tatum. Ahead, nice bounce pass, easy two, and a dunk, and a foul. That was a heck of a pass, wasn't it?
Heck of a pass.
Schroeder knocks it down off the feed from Tatum.
Hard to score on in the playoffs. I'll take that back. 5 teams.
Ooh, even if all the Bulls are healthy, no?
No, I mean, I don't think Cleveland's championship level, but...
T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
Celtics post-game live presented by your New England Ford dealers. Chris Forsberg, Amina Smith here within the Celtics run away with this one, 104-92. And Forsberg, it didn't look like that in the first half. We were a bit worried. How did the Celtics flip the switch?
So here's the thing. With the Celtics, they just gave us the full tour, right? Like, we got a little bit of when they play really bad and they don't do the things that make them successful and miss a million three-point shots and don't get back on defense. Then the second half, they were like, oh, wait. We remember how to play basketball. We can turn this thing up a notch. And when Jayson Tatum goes to full supernova mode and just takes over a game, it's so much fun to watch. And it does, you know, part of me sits here and says, why can't we see this more often? But Tatum was great. And I thought all around the Celtics offense was just so much more crisp, attacking the basket, making plays happen. And you could just tell, like in New Orleans was making shots early. Once they got him out of that, it felt like the Celtics took over this game, even when they were up big. I would try to say I wasn't worried, but it felt like this was the type of game the Celtics could get back into. But bottle up that second half. Let's figure out how we get more of that, especially from Jayson Tatum.
Yeah, Jayson Tatum just taking over in that fourth quarter. And speaking of Jayson Tatum, he's with Abby Chin right now.
Jayson, you took over this game in the second half. Offense, defense, playmaking. What sparked that for you?
Just a slow start we had, myself included. You know, it's an early game, but we can't make any excuses. And just had to regroup at halftime, figure it out, and just come out with some more energy, and that's what we did.
Scal said it on the broadcast. A track meet, it started as a track meet, turned into a slugfest. How were you guys able to take control?
I think we just played with a little more pace on offense. I think early on we were stagnant, and we started getting stops. When you get stops, you can run out in transition and get easy baskets.
You guys have now won 5 of your last 6 games. Are you starting to feel some positive momentum?
Yeah. It's been a good last couple games. We're just trying to take it one game at a time. Hopefully we can build up on it. You know, it doesn't get any easier, but, you know, we're starting to – hopefully we get some guys back, and, you know, we can have our full group and keep it rolling.
Finally, you guys do get the win on this special day across the league. We heard Jaylen Brown address the crowd before the game. What does it mean to you to be a part of the league and playing in this game on Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
It means everything. Without his work and what he sacrificed, it gave, you know, people like myself an opportunity to live out my dream. And to live out my dream on MLK Day and have 2 black coaches coaching the game, you know, it's an honor, and hopefully we continue to keep it going.
Jayson, thank you. Congrats.
Thank you.
A look at Jayson Tatum in that first half versus the second half, and 2 different stories. 6 points in the first half, 21 in the second half. Also more efficient, 7 of 11, 4 rebounds in the first, 4 rebounds in the second, and a plus 20 on the floor in the second half. Let's bring in Scal, who's inside of TD Garden. And Scal, you saw the splits right there. It seemed like Jayson Tatum just woke up in that second half. What adjustments did you see him make?
I mean, not just him in particular, but I do think he's the end result of the Celtics taking care of the basketball, getting back, and being and you know, this game was a physical game, and I think the Celtics were surprised by the physicality, and it wasn't affecting the Pelicans because the Celtics would turn it over, they'd get out and run, no time to complain. But the Celtics started, you know, attacking the rim with more force, like getting into Valanciunas, going into his body as opposed to avoiding him. I just felt like in the first half they were playing around the 3, and then in the second half they just kept attacking the paint.
And Tatum also mentioned in that interview with Abby that, you know, they started out slow, Forsberg. What did you see change for Jayson Tatum in that second half?
Again, just like Scal said, it felt like they never touched the paint in the first half. They were just swinging the ball around the outside, settling for 3-point shots, and they weren't like horrible looks, but they weren't knocking anything down. And when that happens, you got to be more aggressive going into toward the basket. And I think if I had to guess, they go into the locker room and Ime sits them down and says, look, I know Valanciunas is back there, and you're a little bit reluctant to drive, but good things will happen if you do. And all of a sudden, I think the first 5-6 possessions of the second half, it was a paint touch here, a paint touch there, and mostly it was Tatum attacking the basket. And even if he wasn't finishing, he was creating for someone else. And that is the roadmap for this team. You want the ball in Jayson and Jaylen's hands and let them make plays. It wasn't like the fancy pass. Sometimes it was just a simple dump off. But make those more often and good things will happen.
And the Celtics, they got their first lead of the game late in that third quarter. Scal, when you take a look at the Celtics and what they were able to do to get back into this game, just how do they kind of pull it together as a team?
So there's a problem they have against shot blocking bigs. Now, so in the NBA, this is what the Pelicans do, and I think Indiana does the same thing, and same thing with Philadelphia. They weren't attacking Valanciunas. They weren't attacking those guys. So everything ends up as a 3 or a pull-up or a floater. So I think the adjustment is they started to attack the paint multiple times. They started getting the ball to the paint, not being afraid of Valanciunas or Jackson Hayes. So I think, and you saw them the other night against the Bulls, they just pounded the paint because the Bulls didn't have any shot blocking out there. So this is a problem for the Celtics. It's something that they have to address because you can't have every game where you're down by 18 and then you come storming back into third. I get it. The third quarter, they played so much better. There's so many boxes they checked in that third quarter, but I don't like the way that they attack bigs right now. I don't think they do it over the course of 48 minutes, but when they do, their shooting and their talent really starts to shine. When they start driving closeouts, they start getting teams in rotation, and that is difficult to guard, especially when you have the talent, offensive talent that the Celtics have.
And I'll say this, I don't think it's a coincidence that Aaron Nesmith was on the floor. Gives you, I know he doesn't, in the first half, he had a lot of bad shots, had that one kind of ricochet off the glass from the side there. But the energy goes up a level when you have him on the floor, and just, the hustle, just making the little plays when he's out there. I thought Schroeder played more in control and was attacking as well. So the Celtics, for whatever reason, when they come out flat like that, they need to find a way to just snap themselves out of it a little bit quicker and get back to what works. And I hope Ime takes this tape and shows that third quarter over and over again and goes, look, it's this simple. You put pressure on the basket like this, and good things will happen.
And Scal, what about Grant Williams? He was out there with some big plays. He had back-to-back threes, a dunk in that first half. How did he change, the feeling, the energy, the momentum in this matchup on some of those plays?
Yeah, those are huge. That little 8-0 run got the Celtics going in a certain the right direction. But yeah, I thought Grant, his defense is so underrated. People don't talk about it. At least I don't. Maybe I should talk about it more. He had a few possessions in that third quarter where he was guarding Brandon Ingram, and Ingram tried to drive him, didn't like it, passed it, got it back, tried to drive him again, and Grant just did a really good job of moving his feet. And then for him, the only criticism I would have is when that ball finds him and he knows he doesn't have enough space to shoot, he's got to attack out of the corner. And he doesn't have to turn the corner to shoot at, when you're getting the ball and you decide to drive a closeout. You can just attack and then decide to pass it. But I just don't think like pump faking in the corner and being stationary there is the way to go. I really think that there's a level for him to go to if he wants to step up and get a little bit more playing time or have the coach believe in him a little bit more maybe in the fourth quarter. Grant
Williams taking small steps forward for this Celtics team. All right, thanks so much, Scal. Let's send it out to Abby Chin right now, who's with Ime Udoka.
Ime, I just talked to Jayson out on the court, and he said there were certainly some adjustments that needed to be made at halftime. What was the message, and what did you guys change?
Basically, wake up. It looked like a 12:30 game, so to speak, but we turned the ball over way too much, and that's been a problem last 5 or 6 games. Other than the last game where we had 11, we had 10 at halftime already, and so we got better there, only 4 in the second half, took care of the ball, and they're the top 10, number 5 in transition, so we were feeling their transition by turning the ball over.
When Jayson is going like that and is aggressive, taking the ball to the rack but also making plays for others, what does that open up for everyone else on the offense?
Everything, passing lanes, kickouts for everybody else, offensive rebounds. We knew what we wanted to do to start the game. We weren't the best executing that. Obviously, our offense woke up in the second half, and a big part of that was us getting downhill and attacking the basket. I think when he went out and saw probably Dennis and JB doing it, and he followed suit there and got really aggressive, but we just wanted that from the start, and he finally got to it, so credit to him and the rest of the guys for bouncing back.
And you've now won 5 of your last 6. Are there any tendencies positively that you're seeing?
Yeah, well, fighting through adversity. I mean, obviously to be down early, 18, and then flip it and get a 17-point lead sometimes. In the past, we fought our way back and lost some games like that, but we continued to fight this game. And like I said, our offense woke up for a 65-point second half. But you're starting to get the packages down that we like with guys, finding guys' rhythms, and it's a matter of getting guys back as well. And we got our whole crew other than Marcus right now. We kind of have a playbook for everybody, little plays here and there, and I think guys are getting more comfortable the more time they're playing together.
The 12:30 start is early. It's weird.
Yeah, it's different. I think guys are creatures of habit, and that was like a practice time for us. But like I said, we woke up in the second half, so happy with it.
Ime, thank you.
Thank you.